Warm welcome to our online road safety virtual launch. My name is Nina Vaaranen-Valkonen. I'm an executive director and senior specialist at Suojellaan Lapsia, Protect Children.
Very nice to have you with us today. I am Director of Public Affairs and Advocacy, Senior Specialist Hanna-Leena Laitinen. I am so happy to be here today, knowing we are going to have amazing online event to kick off our online road safety project together.
First of all, from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank you all partners and Google.org who have made our project and campaign possible. Special thanks for professionals working in Google for trusting us and our plans to make online safer and for every child. You have supported us from the start and our collaboration has been amazing. It has meant the world to us to get such a strong support. Thank you. I would like to thank also our Minister of Interior, Maria Ohisalo, for being the guardian of our project. If we want to make long-lasting, sustainable changes for children, the duty bearers need to be involved. As Nelson Mandela has said, our children are the rock on which our future will be built, our greatest assets as a nation. They will be the future leaders of our countries, the creators of our national wealth. The true character of every society is revealed in how it treats its children.
Wise words, Nina. Thank you so much. As you can see, we have an amazing list of partners. Wow, I'm beyond happy to collaborate with each. For the starters, I'm thrilled to announce our new partners of the project. Warm welcome, the Finnish National Police, the Finnish Institute of Health and Welfare's Barnahus project, Helsinki University Hospital's Mental Hub, and finally, Council of the Baltic Sea States Children at Risk Unit. Now we have even more stronger group of determined people protecting children together.
We Protect Children work nationally and internationally to ensure that no child is subjected to any kind of sexual harassment, grooming, nor sexual violence. We all know that the best way to protect children is through prevention. It is everyone's responsibility to make sure that we are building locally and globally new skillful digital citizens. And we need to do it together. The idea and seed for the online road safety project and campaign is based on our analyst work. Last year, 2020, we Protect Children analyzed more than 300,000 single images of suspected child sexual abuse material in the Global Alliance Project Arachnid, led by the Canadian Centre for Child Protection. Through our lens and our expertise, we see the preventive work is needed more than ever.
We advocate the rights of the child and we are members of steering group for Finnish National Plan to End Violence Against Children. All our work as well as our online road safety project follows the Finnish National Nonviolent Childhood Action Plan and guidelines. We, Nina and I, wrote the Chapter 11 in the action plan that covers recommendations to prevent online sexual harassment, grooming, and all forms of sexual violence against children in digital media, including preventive actions, as our new project represents. On the top of the Nonviolent Childhood Action Plan work, we are members of the Ministry of Social Affairs and Health's Lanzarote Convention's National Implementation Group and NGO group focusing on preventing domestic violence and violence against women and children.
Yeah. Through our years of experience working in the field and training professionals, as well as listening carefully, children, parents, and professionals working with children, has laid a strong basis for our 1.5-year online road safety project. Once again, we are happy to see so many of you here today, and especially I'm grateful to have all the great partners who really understand that non-violent childhoods and online road safety for every child has to be built together. Now we are honored to give a voice for our Minister of the Interior, Maria Ohisalo, the guardian of our project.
Dear friends, every child should grow up in a safe environment, and it is up to us adults to make sure that that happens. Today, this environment has become increasingly virtual, and that's why it is our job to ensure that the internet is also a safe and pleasant place for children. We're working in many ways to accomplish this. The government has outlined that Finland will be a more child-friendly and family-friendly country, where the well-being of children and young people is a priority. One of our most important projects to strengthen the well-being of children and families is to create a national child strategy, which is based on the create a sustainable and long-term vision of Finland, in which every child can benefit from a good environment and a good life. Organizations will also play an important role in this work. It is intolerable that many children experience violence. It does not matter whether this abuse is physical or mental. We must intervene more quickly in any case. It must be our goal to prevent such situations. There is no place for violence against children in a welfare state. That's why one of the most important objectives of the child strategy is to protect children from all forms of violence. However, this is only one part of the work that many different authorities and organizations do to promote the rights and well-being of children. In Finland, the Ministry of Social Affairs and Health coordinates and organizes some of the measures to prevent crimes against children through the Action Plan on Non-Violent Childhoods. In future, the ministry will use the multi-professional Barnahus model, which may well be expanded later to cover the whole country. In these projects, strengthening multi-professional cooperation is a key component. The significance of extensive cooperation has been recognized at all stages of crime and other inappropriate treatment in Finland. It is particularly important that different authorities can cooperate effectively if a child, despite all the measures taken to prevent abuse, becomes a victim of a violent crime. Only through smooth and efficient cooperation can we ensure that victims receive all the help that they need. I am pleased to say that the extensive online safety campaign under the leadership of the organization Protect Children is a timely and relevant step towards a world which pays more attention to the interests of children and a safe environment. To me, this campaign is a fine example of how organizations are closely involved in building a more child-friendly and family-friendly Finland. Some time ago, I read an article about parents' responsibility in making sure their children use information technology safely. In addition to urging parents to monitor their children's mobile phones, the article asked parents to teach and advise their children about the use of the devices. The education and advice did not relate to the use of video conferencing or email, something that we adults are used to reading about. Instead, the article focused on the dangers and risks that children face online every day. I began to wonder whether parents and other adults who are important to children can actually guide and advise children in a way that is understandable to them. At the same time, I realized that it is difficult to put oneself in a child's position in this issue. When we were little, we were never taught about the dangers lurking in information networks, for the simple fact that such networks did not exist then. What we were usually warned about was traffic or thin ice. At the most, we swore to our parents never to accompany a stranger. We learned at school about how to behave in traffic safely, and we know how to pass on this information to our children. However, it is much more difficult to combat ruthless international cyber criminals and the many forms of abuse, or to identify the different consequences of online crime. I believe that many of you share this opinion with me. At the same time, the dangers posed by traffic have not disappeared, although a great deal of progress has been made in this area. Cars driving too fast, for example, are still a danger to adults and children alike. It is therefore easy for me to agree with the statement made by the Ministry of Transport and Communications, which is involved in this project. Traffic rules are taught to children at an early stage, and they are designed to protect us all. I am sure we all agree that it is important to implement the same principle in online environments, where both adults and children spend a significant part of their daily lives. I would like to emphasize in this context that we must provide children with the best possible conditions to use information networks and virtual environments in a way that is appropriate for their age. The same principles we apply to protect children in traffic must also be adopted when we teach and advise children about the threats posed by information networks. It's easy to understand that nobody is born with the skills to operate in a digital environment. Each generation has its own relationship with technology. It is equally important for us to identify those who are responsible for preventing the threats and dangers posed by this relationship. Different authorities, as well as parents and other important adults, are responsible for ensuring that the relationship between humans and technology is straightforward, useful, and happy. The new campaign includes the following words: a safe and child-friendly internet environment. Our world is becoming increasingly digital, and it offers great opportunities for learning, play, and community, and for work and Finland's success too. We should not consider virtual environments as a threat, but rather a tool with many opportunities to help us develop as individuals and society. Our stable society that emphasizes the importance of media literacy supports this perspective. A secure and well-functioning digital society is in the interest of us all. As I said previously, both national and international criminals have operated in the information networks and our digital devices for a long time. However, I think it is also important realization that these tools, which can be dangerous and harmful in the wrong hands, also provide an opportunity to disarm criminals. In fact, it seems that harnessing information networks and digital tools for the positive use of children and young people is perhaps the best way to provide them and us with information to identify and avoid the dangers of the networks. It is precisely for this work that the project Safety in Digital Traffic offers new opportunities and tools. Finally, I am particularly pleased that this project has received broad support from many expert organizations. It is great to see how different actors in society come together to achieve an important goal. I also consider it extremely important that the project includes media education tools for children in order to promote a safer digital experience. I'm convinced that these educational tools, suitable for different age levels, are needed and will help children understand and learn better. Let's make it our common goal to ensure that children's rights are realized in all situations. Children's rights are the obligation of adults.
Welcome back. Thank you, Minister of the Interior. We are privileged to have you as the guardian of the project. Now it's time to see the weighted demo of the first materials of our online road safety project. Keep in mind that this is just a start and there will be more materials in years to become. The demo will be presented by our media education specialist, Paula Aalto, and Sanna Lukander from Fun Academy. The floor is yours.
Hello all. So nice to see all of you here, and so great to be able to tell about our project. So yeah, I'm working as a media education specialist at Protect Children, and in this online road safety project. Today we are launching the first contents of our project, and I am so thrilled to show you the first visuals that are going to be displayed in different media as of today. Our project will have a wide range of coverage in different media, and of course, through our partners, as you will hear later on in our panel discussion. As we all know, traffic education is something we have succeeded pretty well in our societies. Our children and youth have gotten information, education, and support from adults starting from a very early age and throughout their childhood and growing up. Every adult is dedicated to educate and teach children about different situations, risks, and advantages of traffic. We are all aware of the consequences if we wouldn't do our part in making sure that our children have the right information and skills to move in traffic. What kind of traffic signs, rules, and regulations apply online? What are the green lights, red lights online, or are there any speed limits online while using social media or playing video games? What knowledge does one need in order to master digital driver's license? You probably heard something like this before. Using examples and playing with different connotations from traffic safety isn't a brand new idea. This project will learn and gain benefits from the work and experiences in traffic education. The particularly important point of view is that learning about online safety can be positive and fun. We don't start teaching our children about traffic safety, online safety, starting to tell them about traffic accidents and road rage and fines and penalties. Successful education doesn't need to be intimidating, horror, or riding with fear. Digital environments can offer children a wide range of benefits. We need to make sure children have the knowledge and the skills to use digital media to gain those benefits. On their way to that, they need proper, current, and age-leveled information and support about the risks and disadvantages of digital media. The kind that doesn't demonize media, the kind that teaches our children that the media itself is rarely to blame. While using digital media, we are most often threatened by other users, people who do not follow the rules or respect others' rights. Well, needless to say, we need systematic and wide-ranging speech and raising awareness about media education, media literacy, and safe media use to be able to say that our children know how to gain benefits, enjoy, learn, play, and to promote one's own and the others' well-being by using digital media. We are beyond excited and thankful that so many of our stakeholders agree on this with us. Everyone's input is needed, and we can all participate to make a difference. I think I saw our second slide, but it's time for the second slide right now. So yeah, we are very thankful and happy that Google.org made it possible for us to start this 1.5-year-old long project. Like the Minister of the Interior said in her speech, our main goal is to create sustainable tools, something that could be implemented to anywhere. I think one slide back, please. One slide back. Here we are. So yeah, our main goal is to make sustainable tools, something that could go implemented to anywhere, something memorable, fun, and informative and educating. This project target groups are children aged 5 to 9, particularly vulnerable children and young people in rural areas. The children are starting to use digital media as even younger, and it is vital that they can receive and get access to information. Like Nina and Hanna-Leena underlined, the child participated is fundamental in this project. Throughout the project, we are inviting children to participate and give us feedback when making sustainable materials and content. It is also important that we adults listen and learn from the children. Our target groups also covers parents and caregivers, teachers and professionals working with children. They also need information to be able to teach, advise and support children in safe media use and to set example for children. We are making materials and organizing trainings for teachers and professionals working with children and young people. Our materials can be used in any class and also off-school activity when working with children. Materials are for anyone to use and will be found from our websites later on. We will work closely with the teachers, researchers, and the regional state administrative agency, AVI, to make sure that we are getting all the needed and vital aspects in our materials and trainings. Our project is also spanning the Nordic countries and Estonia, and is supported by a vast group of organizations and specialized in different aspects of online safety, early childhood education, and the creation of teaching materials. Our international partners include ECPAT Norway, who is here today in our panel discussion with us, Lastekaitse Estonia from Estonia, and CBS's Council of Baltic Sea State Children's Risk Unit. Organizations from Denmark and Sweden will be joining us later on this spring. The idea is that all of our materials can be translated and implemented to any other country. In our advocacy work, we are working towards strengthening child protection in digital environments and legislative, administrative, social, and educational measures to protect children from all the forms of harmful and risky media use and sexual violence through regional dialogue and practical cooperation with our partners and stakeholders. And now, if I can have the next slide. And super excited and proud to tell you that our new online road safety web pages are open now. You can find different aspects of online safety and safe media use for parents and caregivers, and separate web pages for children and youth. You can find all the information in Finnish, Swedish, and in English. And at this point, we want to thank our partners, Finnish Transport and Communications Agency, Traficom's Cyber Security Center, and Fun Academy, who gave us guidance and support in creating these first materials for children and youth. We will continue to develop and grow our websites with multiple views of online safety, and we will create new materials, for example, about safety and fair play in digital games. And I believe Havu Gaming is going to help us with that, and materials to prevent online bullying, grooming, and sexual harassment with the support of our partners. And I'm pretty sure that you noticed these guys in here. And scrolling our new websites, these fun-looking characters are now everywhere. And I have my pleasure to welcome Sanna Lukande from Fun Academy to join us, and she's going to tell all of you a little bit more about this fun bunch. You're on, Sanna.
Okay, hello everyone. Well, I'm actually here just representing the fun learning characters who we see on the slide. Soka, Tuka, Mako, and Baba, and they're super happy to participate in this project. Their responsibility here is to try and help us adults remember how differently we all react and act when faced with different situations and circumstances, like things happening to us or around us, good or bad. Tuka, the purple girl, she's a physically strong and competitive being who feels that her strength is her key to well-being. She comes from another planet and feels sometimes out of place, but she does not want her background to define her. Mako, the orange-looking guy, he trusts his engineering skills, that they will solve any problems he or others will face. He trusts that solid reasoning offers us all the answers that we need. And Waba, again, the light green colored character here, she turns to art and beautiful things when she's worried or when she's happy, when she feels weak and when she feels strong. She's very calm and she's zen. But she can also make herself invisible when she wants to disappear from a situation, or sometimes even when she actually wants to be seen. And Soka, the bluish greenish guy, he has a hard time understanding others' feelings. He himself is super kind, and we might say he is a bit naive in his trust of others. So these characters bring actual content to this project through who they are and how they act. But I think their main job here is to make learning about digital road safety a fun experience, specifically for the children. Back to Paul.
Thank you, Sanna. We are so happy to have these characters with us, and I think they will give us the extra spice in all our materials, and we're looking forward on using them in different ways when we're making our materials for the classes and off-school activities. I think now it's time to move on to our next slide, and actually to our panel discussion too. Before that, I'd like to encourage you all to follow us on our social media platforms and visit our website to get the latest information about online road safety projects. If you have any questions regarding our online road safety project, or if you are interested to join our movement to protect children, please do not hesitate to contact us. Let's protect children together, offline and online. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanna Lukander, so much, and Fun Academy. And we are so thrilled to start to develop our materials for the years to come. And thank you, Paula, for the introduction. And remember, this is just a start. And now we are heading to our panel discussion. And we are happy to have very interesting discussions to become. So stay tuned. And now we jump to the panel. So Paula.
Paula, go ahead. Floor is yours and the panelists.
Sorry, I was muted. I'm just gonna see if Maria-Liisa is here, because I saw her in a different, I came from a different Teams meeting for my previous speech, and I don't see her here yet, but she's probably joining us in a minute. So let's wait for just a second to get Maria-Liisa in here. And I think we can start by, first of all, welcome to our panel. There's Maria-Liisa. Yay, we're all here. Yeah, so welcome, Maria-Liisa. Also, now you're in a right Teams link. And I'm so honored and happy to have you all here. And sorry that we couldn't fit all our partners in this panel discussion, but the time is limited, and hopefully this will be like a little appetizer. And maybe in next fall, we could have like a bigger webinar to give voices to all of you. And I know you do amazing job with children being safe and online in your own field. And that's what we want to hear more right now. So let's start with introducing yourselves, and please tell everyone who you are and how are the safe use of media and digital safety skills visible in your own field. And let's do this so that I'll say your name and then you'll get the chance to be whenever. So let's start with Stian. I think you are the furthest guest in our panel today. Welcome.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me? That's great. Thank you so much for inviting us to join this project. We are very proud to take part of this, and we think this can be a great start of an international cooperation to try to do something that really matters for children out there. ECPAT Norway is a part of ECPAT International, which is the largest global network working together to fight all kind of sexual exploitation of children. In the recent years, we have been a lot of focus on traveling offenders, but now, especially during this pandemic situation, we see more and more offenders goes online and try to find their child victims there. We also support survivors after that kind of criminal activities. During this last years, we have seen more and more children comes online and they spend more and more time online. And it also leads to more sexual exploitation of children in those kind of digital channels. Right now, at least in Norway, the schools are closed because of the pandemic situation, so a lot of the education goes online. We also are concerned about the leisure activities of children. You know, all kind of activities like football, different sports, music corps, theater, all kind of activities is closed. So what are the children doing? They sit home in front of their computer all day long. And of course, as more time they spend online, it can be more online sexual exploitation happening. So we are worried for the situation right now. One thing is the children, but we are also asking questions about their parents, and do they have enough skills to know exactly what their children are doing online? I mean, for example, if you are playing one online game, they normally have some kind of chat forum where you can discuss different, how to go to the next level and that kind of thing. But in those channels, also offenders are operating, try to find their child victims. So it's very important that both teachers, parents, and different caregivers understand what's going on. Another part we think it's important to work with is advocacy. We see, for example, in Norwegian laws, NGOs can do nothing like you are doing in Finland, try to remove child sexual abuse material from the internet, because if you look on that kind of materials in Norway, we are in fact criminals. And we also see the European Union has been working with the new Privacy Act lately, which can stop tech companies from doing their works to protect children. So it's a lot of work to do. I also brought my new co-worker today, Julia. If it's something to add, you have to feel welcome.
Thank you, Stian, and thank you very much for allowing me to be part of this. I mean, you've covered, the important things. There was just, I think, the point to raise as well in relation to something the Minister of the Interior said in her speech about the idea that we were taught, as adults, we were taught as children to be wary of the stranger, the stranger at the park or something, and this idea of stranger danger to allow parents as well and caregivers and teachers to understand the form that this now takes online, that it's someone who can be pretending to be a child, and it could be them that are actually targeting their children. So just to highlight that fact. Thank you, Stian.
Thank you, Stian and Julie. And Kimmo, you're welcome.
Thank you, Paula. First of all, good afternoon. My name is Kimmo Ulkonen. I'm working in the National Police Board of Finland. Before I started working here, I worked 3 years in Interpol in Singapore in Innovation Center. I had a great opportunity to meet colleagues all over the world, and I also had a chance to meet children from all over the world when they were at school in Singapore. And I had a chance also to visit the school of my daughters to tell something about online safety. And I was really amazed how much they knew about online safety and what kind of skills they had, even though they were, that time I think they were something like 7 or 8 years old. So I hope that's something we could bring also to Finland to increase the knowledge how to build the foundation for the online safety. First of all, I would like to thank Protect Children for the invitation for the National Police Board to be part of this very important project. Our minister, Ms. Ohisalo, already talked about road safety and compared the road safety to digital safety. And in a way, she took words from my mouth. But it's nice to have a minister who thinks alike. I would like to compare also the road safety to digital safety in a way that when my kids, when they started to school, when they were 7 years old, I took them to their school, which is quite close, but we went the route and the pedestrian crossing, we made sure that we looked right and left once more and right, and a couple of times that. And then I told them that they have to make sure that car stops before they start crossing the road. So I would like to compare this also to online environment. You have to be sure what you are doing. Sometimes it's good to trust, but sometimes it's also good to make sure that intentions of others are in line. And still they are older now, but still they make sure that cars stop. And I would like to think that they also know how to be online, how to use services, and they also keep in mind that there might be someone behind the keyboard that might not have the right intentions in that moment. Cyberspace, it's a good place to keep in contact with friends. Like it was said before, now lots of kids, they are going to school in internet, they are keeping in contact with their friends online, and also they have hobbies and stuff like that. So as adults, it's our responsibility to make sure that the environment also in cyberspace is safe. Personally, I don't believe digital native concept. I think no one is born like a digital native who knows what to do, how to behave, what are the rules online or in real world. I'm a 5th generation police officer, so my mother was a police officer. And even though when I was born, when I was young, I didn't know all the road rules. It didn't come from my genes. So it's important that we as adults, we provide the information for our children, and also same time we are learning something. It's good to have conversations with children now and then over the dinner or someplace other to hear what are the things online. Are there something new? What are you doing? What applications are you using? And so at the same time we are learning, we might provide some information also for our children. I was also asked in this panel that what is new and noteworthy in online, and it's really difficult to answer that question because there's so much things going on at the moment online. There are lots of new services. Some old services are not being used by young people anymore. Some new services are having new ways to be used. And these services can be used, of course, for good, and mostly they're used for that purposes. But I'm working in the police, and unfortunately, I see lots of bad things that are happening in online. We heard all news about 10-year-old Italian girl who was kind of a victim of a TikTok challenge. And we had same challenges when I was young. We had exactly the same challenge in school, but the difference was that information didn't spread so fast. And that time when I was young, teachers, they had possibilities to tell kids that please don't do that, and it could cause harm. It could even result of the death. But nowadays it's not possible. Children, they have almost infinite amount of information. They can use that information for good or something else. And it's important for us to teach children also to recognize what information you can trust, what you cannot trust. So it's a constant evaluation of the information, what is available. And learning to be safe online, it doesn't happen on a blink of an eye. It starts when children are given their first smart device. And this project targets children from 5 to 9 years old. And I think that's a perfect age for children to start learning how to be safe online. So I'm really looking forward to working together in this project for better online safety for children and for us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimmo. Powerful metaphors. Nice. And then let's hear it from Maria-Liisa. You're welcome.
Thank you, and good afternoon for everyone. I'm a Director of Education and Culture Department at a Regional State Administrative Agency. Our agency organizes brief courses of in-service training. We hold hundreds of training sessions each year for teachers and other professionals in education sector. This training is financed by the Ministry of Education and Culture, and the training we organize is free of charge. We have noticed that adults need more and more information and communication pedagogy skills, but also digital safety skills. So the need for training is growing. The challenging question is how to deal with different situations if problems are found in a child's use of the internet. This kind of guidance is needed in addition to strengthening education and their own skills. It is very nice to be with you, and I'm waiting for that we can train together, we can advise together, and maybe we can also educate together. Thank you.
And we most certainly will. That's a promise. And then Wilhelmina. Thank you. Maria-Liisa.
Hi, I'm Wilhelmina Wolbeck. I'm responsible for communication, sustainability, and brand development within DNA. And for some reason, I'm time to time turning into blue, so maybe one of your figures already. So I'm actually in my 8-year son's room, and the coloring in this room is quite weird. I was also thinking that we should have a campaign, protect parents against children's Legos, because I just stepped into one, but let's change that. Let's take that one other time. But it's really great to be part of this great partners so that we can together figure out ways how to guide our children and young people so that they can really cope on the internet. As a big teleoperator, we have a huge role as we are the provider of all those connections, and we do see that children from the age of 6 are getting phones even before when they are going to schools. And even though we've got all security services, the biggest threat are the people themselves, both the adults and children, so that they should have the knowledge and understanding how to work on the internet. And I've been in many events in the schools telling parents about these things, and the problem is that the parents don't understand things. So it's the both things. You have to inform children in a nice way, but at the same time give knowledge and understanding to parents, because they are really lacking behind in this. As I see with my 14-year-old, he's so way before me in all these internet things that I don't have, like, I'm totally lag behind. But it's great to be here and really waiting for changing ideas and doing this together. Thank you.
Thank you, Wilhelmina. And I'm sure we all heard when you mentioned Lego. And then can I have Helena, please?
Absolutely. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Helena Turunen, and I'm representing the Finnish Transportation and Communications Agency, Traficom, and their National Cybersecurity Center here in Finland. And it is so wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. Just discussing how we see media usage and digital security skills in our industry. While as the National Cybersecurity Center, we are usually called up upon when something goes wrong. So we see all the things that lead to this point where something actually goes wrong, and we need to start investigating or seeing how we can prevent those things in the future. So a lot of these things come down to awareness and education and being able to share what's happening in the digital security world, because it's becoming more and more entwined with our daily lives, with like Dimo and everyone else before me saying that children younger and younger and younger are gaining access to devices, digital services, going online, sharing on social media. And we need to know from day one how to approach these devices like we would approach a crossing. When do we know to cross and when do we know to stop? What's a green light and what's a red light? And it comes down to very basic skills. It comes down to passwords. It comes down to what kind of services you're using. It comes down to what information you're sharing. And the more we understand the basics of how to protect ourselves, the better we can also protect each other and all the people around us. And the more we gain these skills, including technical, social, language, physical/cyber skills, we will be able to create better services with more secure elements to them. And then that way also share more and more about how we can stay safe every day in the digital world. And from the Cybersecurity Center's perspective, we are so happy to share all the elements that we see in our daily lives, how to help prevent the things from happening that are happening. And a lot of things happen under covers. A lot of the things you will never see because you're not aware that it could be a problem. And saying that people are more and more online every day is so true to us as well. We can see that, for example, children might not understand that causing a problem on another kid's Minecraft server, for example, is a problem and possibly illegal. You're not just allowed to go somewhere and wreak havoc if you try to gain access to their system, for example. So these are also the elements that we want to share and help children and their parents understand, that to be able to be more secure in the cyber world, we have to understand what is happening, what are our actions, and how they affect both on a digital and a physical scale. Thank you.
Thank you, Helena. I agree on everything with you. And last but not least, Sunny, you're bringing us a different kind of view and a world full of also benefits and fun and learning and different things. But tell us more.
Yeah, I'm delighted to be here and great to see, first of all kinds of talents and of course former colleagues. So hi, Wilhelmina, great to see you once again. Yeah, I come from the company called Habu Gaming. We're an esports organization. So basically we have gamers, competitive gamers in different games, and then influencers around the gaming, let's say, scene. And yeah, you could say that there has never been the more, let's say, concrete time than now, because obviously gaming is one of the big aspects that kids and adults are also doing more and more since, especially since the pandemic started. And if you look at those, like statistically, social media globally is being used 2.5 hours a day per average user. So you can basically think about what is the amount of a teenager or a younger kid if the average is 2.2 hours. And one of the aspects I was really surprised, even though I kind of consider myself to be somewhat aware of the digital, information and the new trends, that I didn't know all the channels that the younger kids were actually using. So there were channels first of all, Twitch and Discord and Reddit and obviously Snapchat and TikTok. And the problem was that I wasn't there myself. So there were many times that we, especially I think that Helena and many of you said that we need to, first of all, of course, take care of the children and educate the parents and the schools, because we're also a part of this other initiative called Empathy Package. And that was really surprising, because there were many parents that say that they didn't know if their kids were being online bullied. So they actually didn't talk about at all. And I kind of find this understandable, because if you don't know, if you don't have any clue on the platforms and what do you do there, maybe you don't have a conversation naturally, because you're not using those channels yourself. And I find that it's not only a topic of kids, because now what I've been noticing that because the world is online, so we don't have Finnish or Norwegian or local people, we have totally global audience. And when we started to maintain our accounts on the gaming accounts, and we, let's say, lost a game, and there were actual death threats coming from across the world, and I was like, what? And then I was kind of shocked in a way, because I haven't received death threats to myself. And I was asking to the players, is this common? And they were like, yeah, well, it happens usually after every game. So some better just gets angry. And I was like, okay. And maybe some kids are, let's say older kids can be used to that kind, so they can ignore. But think about the younger one who joins these kind of new platforms, and there are all kinds of people there. So yeah, two-fronted, educating the parents and the schools, and of course, knowing what kind of channels the kids are using and make them safe.
Very powerful, and we're all nodding here and agreeing on everything. I think we have one last question left, because we have 20 minutes left, and I'm looking at all faces on my screen, and I want everyone to get their say. So let's give your best elevator speech about what kind of trends or aspects related to digital safety do you think will be the most prominent in the future? Something that we should be kind of ahead while stepping into this project. And let's start with Steve and Julie.
Thank you so much. Like others told, I think internet is not a country. Internet is a global arena without any borders, and that's an important thing to make us work together, because the criminal person can be located in one country and the victim can be somewhere else in the world. I think it's also important to understand that the offenders looking for their victims other places to try to protect themselves. It will be more hard for the police to investigate somebody located somewhere else in the world. I also think we need to discuss how to make easy rules that children can understand. And that's why I think this project is extremely important. You know, nobody is born with safety skills. They don't know how to act in the traffic, and they definitely not know how to operate on the internet if nobody told them. We also need to understand some children are more clever than their parents regarding what they are doing online, and I don't think it matters what kind of family you're from. If you're from a poor family or a rich family, if the parents and caregivers are not there to follow up their children in their daily activities, we don't know what they are doing and actually what's going on. Before we was very afraid of will our children end up on the dark web. Right now we see more and more cases where you will find abuse material on Instagram, on Facebook, on Snapchat, TikTok, etc., etc. So I think this is going on all over, and when we think our children is doing something safe, they probably meet some kind of risk. That is one side of it. Another problem is children who make nude photos of themselves and share with friends, and when the girlfriend break up, then share the picture with the rest of the world. You have a real problem going on. So it's a lot of things going on, and we have to be aware of this thing, and we cannot close our eyes. I also think it's important that we are all working together. We cannot sit like an NGO and think we can solve this problem ourselves. The government cannot solve it themselves. So we need some kind of a three-part cooperation where both companies, tech companies, NGOs, and different authorities and government work together and trying to find a recipe. And I think we need some clear guidance, both for the children, of course, and I think this model with red, green and yellow light is a great example, because they can relate it to something they already learn. So it's not a huge step to learn how to navigate safe on the internet too. And I also think we need to discuss, one second, about how we can involve schools, parents, and all other kind of institutions where children are active, to try to make the society understand what's going on. We cannot close our eyes and tell this will not happen with my child, because it can happen with anyone everywhere in the world. So this kind of safety skills is extremely important, and now we also see, and one thing is in Scandinavia and the Nordic countries, but if you're looking on the world, you will see countries who didn't have internet before. In Africa, the children are start running around with their own smartphones now. So of course more and more children get online, and that will make a huge risk all over the world. And we know also Scandinavian offenders try to find children in development countries to try to protect themselves. So we need to look on this on a global perspective. I don't know, Julie, if you have something to add.
Thank you, Stian. No, just to say, I think one of the challenges, especially for parents and caregivers, is that they actually maybe aren't aware of the dangers and the risks until something terrible happens to their child. And I think that is the very frightening aspect of it. And it's why it's so important, particularly in schools that maybe don't take it as seriously as it should be. It's to sort of reiterate that this risk is real. And unfortunately, you know, if you don't take steps to protect your children, then they are at risk. And even if you don't fully understand those risks, there can be something that can sort of harm your child And unfortunately, with images and things, it can be quite permanent, quite difficult to remove. So it's just, again, it's about educating and about ensuring that parents can actually work and can protect their children as they would want to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Sten and Julie. Wilhelmina, would you like to add something?
Yeah, there was so many interesting and important things that were already mentioned, but I see that at the same time, it's this digitalization trend that's the biggest trend at the moment, of course, but it's also very positive, and it's something that will benefit our children a lot. When I think about my children, they speak fluent English in age of 8 already. Okay, a bit with the Russian accent because of famous YouTuber that he's following, but nevertheless, it's great. So they do benefit a lot from internet, and you have to have this positive feeling at the same time and not make it too scary. But at the same time, I think the big trend is, of course, the security, and then how we can all do it at the same time. Authorities, products, secure products, but mostly with the people, because with the criminals we see that they are quite fast moving forward and getting new ways to hack and how do frauds and all these. So we have to tell people so that they understand what's happening, and they should have this cautious feeling when they are thinking if this looks too good to be true or something like that then it is, because that's more, of course, with the adults. At the moment we see a lot of fraud cases, but that's the biggest thing, I think, that together the visibility that we have now with these issues to guide people.
Thank you, Wilhelmina. And Helena, please.
Thank you. Just thinking about the future, and what I'm seeing a lot is that a lot of things will be automated in the future, even more than they are now. Protection will be automated. Privacy will be more automated. We will see more things done towards automating security for the benefit of everyone, for the benefit of our children, for the benefit of adults. But also automation will be used to try and breach that trust, to try and breach our privacy, try and breach our security. And we must understand how it works, how systems are used to protect us, and how systems are used to try to go against us. And that wider understanding, I think, is already being supported by the national education program in Finland, where actually the current opetussuunnitelma, the education program, includes programming, logic, computational understanding. So we are already teaching children some of these skills in schools to understand what is actually happening on the background of security when they enter online worlds, and how things can be done to make it better, or how things can be utilized to protect everyone else. And from a gaming perspective, since we've been talking a lot about gaming, I think this is one of the things that we'll be seeing more in the future. So virtual gaming, going into virtual worlds, being even more out of sight from adults' minds and their gazes. So how, when children are entering virtual worlds, how will be the protection there, and how can we make sure that we see what's happening? How can we be sure that their privacy is being protected? How can we be sure that they're safe? So I think those are some of the biggest things we see going in the future.
Wow. That was pretty amazing that you pulled that out of there. Thank you, Helena. And Maria-Liisa, please.
Thank you. I have nothing to show you, but I have to say that there are a lot of pressures for schools and teachers. So we have to remember that they have so many other things to do. Please help them that they can handle also this kind of safety skills. So homes, schools, early childhood education centers, media, we all should act together and ensure the digital safety world. Even if learning takes place more and more outside of the school or outside of early childhood education center, the versatile and safe learning environment offered by the school or ECE provide a strong support for the growth of the pupil and child. The maybe fundamental value is that every child is unique and has the right to have high quality education. So it means that children are heard, valued, and encouraged. They feel that they're doing in free time. Also in free time also matter. Children are guided towards a safe way of using digital tools and understanding the importance of it themselves. The knowledge and skills as well as values, attitudes, and will are needed of all of us, not only from children or teachers. So I think that in the future, actually, we are all lifelong learners. Schools and early childhood education centers take care of the safety, digital environment, and also well-being of each other and every member of each community. I think that we should systematically promote safe working approaches in digital environments, as well as cooperation and interaction with professionals, organizations, authorities, citizens. We all. Thank you.
Cooperation. I think it's the word of today. And I think it's only proper that the last comment on this conversation is for Kimmo, the police. And so before that, Sunny, you will have your say, and please leave some time to Kimmo also to close this panel discussion for us. Thank you.
Yes, I will be very, very brief if that was the point. Yeah, very good points. Just to emphasize a couple of things. First of all, I think that being aware of the channels and the platforms, whatever you do, you're in the digital world. That's part of your job. So that's a individual, I would say, responsibility. It's not the responsibility of schools or that groups or that. It's each and every one of us. The second thing is that you don't have to be totally aware and leave your, let's say, children alone. There are plenty of good places where your children can be in midst of responsible adults who can then, make sure that they and educate those. So, for instance, in Nordic countries, Finland, Norway, Sweden, and so forth, we have a great ecosystem. So you don't have to leave your kid alone and struggle yourself. There's plenty of help.
Wonderful. That was so brief and good. Kimmo, you're the last but not least.
Thank you. I try to keep it short. First of all, when I was in school, I was always grateful to be the last group during the group work, because all other groups, they always gave the right answers. And I just mentioned that, well, I agree with them. So that was easy. That's probably the reason why I ended up as a police officer. Anyway, I think lots of good things was said, and I want to piggyback on Maria-Liisa, what she said about children's right to choose or how their information is used. That's at least what I wanted to believe what Maria-Liisa said, but I think we should give as our constitution and also United Nations Convention on Children's Rights state that we have to give children also the possibility to affect to their life, depending on their age, of course. But if we are able to provide right information, right tools for the kids, then they might be in a position where they can give their opinion, which is based on the right information. Let's say that in school, for example, they are not willing to use certain social media because they think that their information should be in their hands. So that's just one way, which also affects on a possibility to not to be bullied. So if they know that their friends are there, they want to keep out of that social media, then they should have right to do so. So that's one point. But in the future, I think that lots of things are going on, and NGOs, private sector and public sector are doing more and more together. So I believe that even though there are lots of bad things going on in the internet, I think we are going to have a bright future working together, making safe online environment for our kids. Thank you.
I couldn't agree more. And I think Sunny said it really well, that what it comes down to is individuals, and we can all make a difference as ourselves. And if everybody would just do that one thing and take care of themselves, if everybody would do that in the world, we would have amazing place online too. There would be no bullies and no bad things happening in there either. So that's the goal, and I'm so sure that we'll get there. Sometimes it's baby steps, but it doesn't matter. It's still steps towards that goal. I think our time is running out in this panel. I loved everything you said today, and I'm looking forward on us all working in this project, and I know that we will relentlessly. And when this 1.5 year project is over, I know we'll be proud what's been made in 1.5 years, and I know that we're closer to that goal for sure then. And we're here now in Teams, and we don't know our virtual event, but I wanted to tell you all that I have 2 other amazing colleagues. There's Anna Ovaska and Matilda Sandvik, and they've been in the chat box hosting the chat, and they're working with us relentlessly to protecting children every day. And I just wanted to give them a shout out too, because they deserve that too. So yeah, let's give it to them. And to all of us too. And now I think we're moving back to the studio and see if the next guest is online. And I want to thank you all. This conversation was so nice and so good, and I'm now rubbing my hands and thinking about the fall and the webinar and the speeches that everybody could talk for hours about their own field. I want to hear more, and I'm sure everybody else want to hear more too. But yeah, thank you for this. Bye.
Thank you so much, all panelists. Great insights and discussion that really shows the importance of our online road safety project. Love the terms you use, like data privacy and rights of the child. That's our base. Next, I'm happy to give a turn to Antti Järvinen, Country Director Finland at Google. The floor is yours, Antti.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you for joining us today. And my warmest thank you to Minister Ohisalo of her role as the guardian for this important project. I'd like to express you that we are incredibly happy to be part of this urgently important initiative and to make our best effort to enable a safer internet for the children. As a Finn and dad of 2 and leading Google in Finland, I couldn't be happier that this great initiative is starting from Finland, and we can together be true frontrunners on this field. The work for the more family and child-friendly internet environment is something which we have been working tirelessly on the last 20 years. And this project we are here talking today with its objectives fits seamlessly into this work. Always when we are working on child safety, our approach is informed by our collaboration with experts like here today from around the world, and participation in international organizations. And this one we are here talking today makes no exception. In our role as a project sponsor, we have full confidence for the entire project team and their ability to deliver the meaningful results to the advance of these important goals. I'd like to take you through on a couple of examples on how we approach the child safety and the family safety of the internet space. And I want to start it by recognizing that we as a Google, we do recognize our role as a major online player. And ensuring the safety of children is a big part of our daily work, and we take it particularly seriously. Our products is obviously the key on this one, and we constantly think on how we can make them safer and more friendlier for the families and for the children. The second pillar on our approach is our policies. So we constantly think on how to develop our policies to meet the changing challenges of the improving the child safety in the online space. As we know, it's very fast-moving pace that we are seeing in the internet surroundings. And the third one is obviously outreach. So we are working and we want to continue working even more closely with leading experts and organizations around the world on this field. On our products, we do build products for kids and families from the ground up to help parents support safer access to the children. As a concrete example, I would like to mention a few of those, and you might be familiar on these ones. So Family Link is something that we offer for the families. YouTube Kids, especially tailored experience for the kids on YouTube space, and then teacher-approved apps are, for example, the three core products that we've been working with. Family Link is a downloadable app which is now available by default in all of the latest Android operating systems and Chromebooks. Family Link is something that helps parents to stay in the loop as their child explores the internet on a compatible device. The app lets parents set digital ground rules for their family, like managing the apps their child can use, keeping an eye on screen time, or setting a bedtime and daily limit for the child's device. YouTube Kids provides a separate YouTube experience which is designed especially for children and that parents can control. The app uses a mix of filters, user feedback, and content moderators to keep the video family-friendly in the YouTube Kids space. And that allows children to explore a catalog of content in a very much safer environment. YouTube Kids is now available on a desktop in the countries including Finland and other Nordic countries where YouTube Kids is launched. And the third pillar I mentioned, teacher-approved apps, is something where Google Play teacher-approved apps makes it easier for parents to find apps that are both enriching and engaging for their children. These teacher-approved apps are reviewed and curated by teachers to help kids develop, grow, and have fun, and also meet the place designed families for families' security and privacy requirements. Teacher-approved apps launched in the US in April 2020 and is in the process of rolling out globally. Alongside of these three things, I want to also bring up that we are very much committed to stopping the use of our platforms to spread child sexual abuse material. We deter, detect, and report offenses on Google products and have invested heavily in fighting against the child exploitation online. As an example of this work, I would like to mention our great effort on developing the new technology. In a couple of years back, our engineers created the Content Safety API, which enables faster detection on never before identified CSAM by prioritizing the most likely CSAM content for review. This has enabled us to find and report new CSAM that was not possible using hash matching alone, and helps reviewers to find CSAM content 7 times faster. We make this tool available for free to partners across the industry and qualifying NGOs. We also work on multiple fronts to prevent our platforms like search and YouTube, including limiting the search features, commentaries, or the discovery from being used to those who may seek to endanger minors. And we do remove content that may endanger children on those platforms. Fighting CSAM online is a shared responsibility. We work closely with others in the industry and in partnership with experts to constantly increase our understanding and the ability to combat these crimes. Moving on this space, I want to highlight that we as a Google, we want to create and support the creation of an educational resources that create opportunities to learn and to encourage safe and responsible interactions online. And again, today, this project is a perfect example of this type of a crucial work. We strongly believe in empowering internet users of all ages to learn how to explore and the World Wide Web safely. That's the key. The playful approach developed by Protect Children and all the partners is exactly the right one. And at Google, many of our internal courses on pretty boring topics are also designed as games. And we know that the playful approach is a very efficient way to learn. So I'd be super keen to see on how this goes and what kind of goals are met through the program. Once again, I want to express my gratitude to be part of this important and collaborative project. And I wish all the partners and Protect the Children the very best success with this one. And I'm happy to take any questions if you may have for this one. So again, thank you on partnering with us on this one.
Thank you, Antti. We appreciate the opportunity Google.org made possible and all the good work Google does for every child. Thank you so much. Next, I am happy to give a turn to our Protect Children's mentor, amazing influencer, Peter Westerpakka. Impossible is nothing. The floor is yours, Peter.
Yeah, thank you. And it's fantastic to be here. So I think that this is really as many of the previous speakers said, a great example of many people, many entities working together. And I think that that was also why I wanted to talk about, impossible is nothing, because I really believe that there are very few things out there that are impossible. But I think it's also very clear that this is a massive challenge when we talk about online, road safety. I think that, after listening to the presentations, to the panel discussion, I think everybody would agree that this is not by any means an easy task to make sure that our children and all of us are safe online. I think that it's a massive challenge. But I think that there are definitely a lot of solutions out there. And I think also, if we look at some of the examples, in areas of, for example, how to fight, for example, misinformation and, fake news and things like that. I think also there, the trick is really that we need to work together. I think that is something that can't be overstated, the importance of that. And I think that now looking at the event today and what the organization here is doing, I think it's very important work. And I think this is a great example of the kind of let's say platform, the kind of entity that we need to bring everybody together. And starting with we had Maria Ohisalo, the Minister of the Interior. So of course this is something that is important to have the national government, the different key ministries involved. And I think there also we talked about education here. I think that it's also very important that we realize that all of our ministers and the public sector, they're also people. And I mean, we are in a world that is moving forward very fast. So we need to make sure then also that we educate all the entities. And I mean, that includes, our government. And I think that is a very important thing to keep in mind, that this is not easy. So it's great to see that we have the government participating. I think also then when we look at this, it's really important that all of us parents. I mean, I have two kids myself, and I think that for all of us, we also had Sunny mentioning there that a lot of the tools came as a surprise. That like, okay, look at this, kids today, they're using Twitch and Discord and of course Snapchat and TikTok, and like there's a continuous stream of like new innovation and new tools, and it can be very, very difficult to keep track of all of that. But I think that in this particular case, it's very, very important that all of us, that we use everything ourselves. And I think in this case that we use these tools, we play the different games together with our children, so that we're aware, that, oh, this is what Minecraft is all about, and okay, Fortnite, oh, it seems like you're playing with, like your friends. And it's important to at least understand the basic concepts, what this new kind of like digital world, this online world, what it's all about. And of course, there it's important to understand, and it's important for us to understand the rules. It's just as serious if you have, this kind of, bad behavior online as if you would have it in, the real world, if you will. And I think that this is something that we're still in a world where many of us think that, oh, but it's like online, so like how serious can it be? It's not like you're stealing some real items, as an example, real things. But actually these virtual items, these virtual things are just as real, and bullying online, as an example, is just as real as bullying, in the kind of like real world. And I think that it's actually many can be even worse, because I think that fundamentally people are nice. Most people are, nice people. And when you meet with people face to face, people have a certain, like set of behaviors, and we know, let's say, how to behave. But then online, I think that there's still a bit of more lax and more like a relaxed attitude to that, even though it can be much, much worse. But I think that here, on this theme that impossible is nothing, I think that it's super important that we work together. So parents and children and young people together. There was also a very good comment about the schools and the teachers. And here again, I think it's very important that we help the teachers with access to, also learning about all of these new services and all of these new things. I mean, teachers, no matter how good they are also, of course, busy with their job, and it can be very tough to keep up with all the latest developments. And I think that we've had a very good system here in Finland, where you have had these kind of like teachers that have been mentors in kind of like all things digital to the other teachers. I think that is potentially a very, very good model that could be implemented also for, fighting online bullying and basically improving the online safety. So I think that that is something that we should also not forget about. But again, that is very much along the theme of working together. And if we have some good examples, I think there are some studies about, for example, this how to fight disinformation, fake news. Turns out that we've been doing a pretty good job in Finland in that area. And I think that that is, again, because of the strong foundation, big investment in education. And I think that there is an opportunity to do even better in that. And this is not kind of like some detail that, oh, let's deal with online and, safety and this online road safety as kind of like as an afterthought. I mean, we are now in a world where our kids, and even the very young children grow up in a very connected, very digital, very online world. And the solution is not to say that, oh, you can't use this, you can't use that. I mean, those services are there. Our children will come across these services. They will download the latest and greatest game, the latest and greatest app. And that is just, the world we are living in. And that is something that we then need to make sure that we educate, we share, what this is all about, and this is responsibility of all of us. And that's why I was super happy to see that we had kind of like all of us, all of society together for this event today. And I think that when we're working together and we keep this objective in mind that we want to increase the online road safety, and I think that this is a very appropriate way of looking at it, because none of us would let our young children lose in like traffic without telling them like how traffic, road traffic, how it works, the traffic lights, different traffic signs, the different rules and regulations. And I think it's the exact same thing here, that you can't let your kids and and actually I would say that this applies to parents and grandparents, that you need to know about the rules online and how it works. And this is again a job for all of us. And many times actually our kids know a lot more about the life online than us parents or grandparents. And I think here again, let's explore this online world together. I think that is something that is very important. It can't really be delegated, that hey, I don't need to worry about this. I mean, this is the world we live in, and you need to care about it and you need to understand it. And there is kind of like no way turning things back. So we better kind of like work on this together. And it's about the parents, it's about the schools, the kids, the grandparents, the government, the different companies. And I think that is also one thing that, again, great to see, the companies here. We had Google and, the operators and Fun Academy and all that. So I think that the private sector also needs to step up to the plate and help with coping with all of this. So I think that it really is impossible, to not work together. It will be impossible to solve and provide a safe online environment without working together. But when we work together, then I really believe that, the theme of my talk as well, that impossible really is nothing. So yeah, let's work together and let's make sure that we provide a fantastic and safe experience online for our children and all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter. Encouraging words, and you truly are inspiration to us and to us all. Thank you. And like you said, we need to do it together, and we welcome everybody, everyone, every company, everyone, individuals to come along and promote our online road safety project. Next, we hear a common speech. It's probably not like a common speech, but a very important partner for us from Olivia Lindhaldson from Council of the Baltic Sea States Children at Risk Unit. And we protect children. We are very happy to have you with us, because the Baltic Sea stage, it's a huge, and we can implement the materials there too. So please, Olivia.
Hello everyone, my name is Olivia Lindhaldson, and I currently work as the head of the Children at Risk Unit in the Council of the Baltic Sea State Secretariat. And I'm really sorry that I couldn't join you today. And I know that I know many of you from before and that we have worked together before. But for those of you who don't know me or don't know the Council of the Baltic Sea States, I wanted to send this very short video message to introduce the CBSS and the Children at Risk Unit, and of course express our excitement to be part of this interesting project. And so the Council of the Baltic Sea States, the CBSS, is a platform for regional collaboration and trust, and it gathers 11 member states from the region and the European Union. And together, our member states work to strengthen our Baltic regional identity, to ensure that our region is safe and secure, sustainable and prosperous. And the Children at Risk is one of the CBSS flagship priorities. And our member states gather in an expert group on children at risk to engage in dialogue, exchange, and practical projects to promote children's rights, to build stronger child protection systems, to promote child-friendly justice, and to contribute to non-violent childhoods. And the CBSS Secretariat is based in Stockholm, and our unit, the Children at Risk unit, is a small team. And among other things we do is that we support the expert group on children at risk, we facilitate the exchange, we implement and manage projects, we develop tools, guidance, analysis, and reports, and we engage with actors from across Europe and beyond on children's rights and child protection. And a key priority for us is to promote regional good practice, including the Barnahus model. And this we do through our Promise initiative, which consists of the Promise Barnahus network, our competence center, and our practical projects, Promise, which is now in its third phase. And we support national and local agencies, both governmental and non-governmental, to establish and develop Barnahus. And we work with academia, professionals, and experts from various disciplines, including, of course, the Barnahus themselves. And our work to promote the Barnahus model is supported by the European Union, the Council of Europe, and the UN. And we also have a quite long-standing history in supporting awareness raising, research, training, and practical tools in the area of online child abuse. And in our current team, we have specific experience and expertise on children's lives online. And it is therefore that we are delighted to be part of this project, to learn from other project partners and the activities that we will be carrying out, to contribute with our expertise where we can, and to collaborate with you to communicate and promote our findings. So we are very excited, and once again, I'm really sorry that I couldn't be with you today. I look forward to future opportunities to connect, and I wish you the best of luck today. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you so much, Olivia. We are so lucky and we are so happy about today's virtual event. So it's great. So thank you all. Now it is time to start finishing our event and start working. Like Paula said, she's grabbing her hands, and our specialist Anna Ovaska is working there, and Matilda Sandvik, and we, Hanna-Leena and me, we are really, this is just the start. We need to build a better and safer internet for every child. That's our responsibility. We welcome every individual, organization, and company to join in. And with that said, we wish you all to promote our online road safety project materials years to become. There will be language versions. Once again, I would like to say my warm thank you to Minister of Interior Maria Ohisalo, Finnish Transport and Communication Agency, National Cybersecurity Center, you rock. Regional State Administrative Agency, Maria-Liisa. Oh, our collaboration has been so important to me. ISPs, new company with us collaborating, DNA, woo, we like the pink. Finnish Federation for Communication and Teleinformatics, FICOM, we have been collaborating with them and they do a great work. Fun Academy, without you, we couldn't make this so fun and nice for children, and that is so important. Helsinki University Hospitals Mental Hub.fi, they are promoting our materials and we are collaborating strongly. ECPAT Norway, I must learn some Norway, speaking some Norway, and the materials will be also in your own language. Lastenkaitselit from Estonia, they are coming along with a little bit later. We have collaborated with them. And super thank you, Havu Gaming. Hanna-Leena is a fan of looking the games, esports, and that is also very important to have this fun gaming and fun sports with this. Zone will be coming later with us, collaborating, and Soturi, which is doing a great job in Finland, maybe a little bit up north, like connecting more. Havas Helsinki, responsible for our visuals. I almost feel like crying because every time we work in collaboration with Havas Helsinki, they invent something that it just touches our heart. So thank you so much. And all the other partners who are supporting us and building a better world for children. This is amazing. You all really lead the way in collaboration. We like together we can do this. And kind of I would like to state the last sentence, like, be the change you wish to see in the world. So that's what we are doing right now, Hanna-Leena.
Exactly. Thank you, Nina. I could say the same that Nina just said. Wonderful. It has been a real pleasure and an important day for our organization. As you know, we are small but very feisty, and this is just the beginning of this project, and we are aiming to sustainable change for the digital world for every child. And this is what we are doing together in 1.5 years and beyond that. So we say now bye-bye now. Thank you all, and remember to follow us on social media. Let's protect children together.